Good Wednesday morning of the 31st week of the year. Now, we're back to the God. We just did All Saints and All Souls, but today is all ordinary. It's back to the regular part. But the gospel's interesting. It's Luke again. And it's the cost of discipleship. He says, great crowds were gathering around with Jesus, and he turned and addressed them. If anyone comes to me without hating his father and mother, with wife and children, brother and sister, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. And then he goes on, whoever builds anything without counting the cost. You've got to face the cost. When we think about the audience that Luke is writing to, the Gentile Christians, okay? When you're reading Matthew, you see him talking to Jewish Christians, and you see the cost of discipleship is astronomical. It would cost you your family. It would cost you your family, very much so. Okay, in a tribal culture, even in Rome, it would ostracize. Remember, the Romans were beating the hell out of it. I'm talking about the Mediterranean world, the Greek world, okay, Greco-Roman world. To be a Christian was a guarantee you're going to get martyred. That was tough. These guys played rough in the sandbox, you see. And it's the cost of discipleship. It was the blood of the martyrs that led to the Christianization of Europe. It took 5 centuries. When Constantine finally made Christianity the religion of Rome, then it became Roman, and it was universal at that point, okay, at the point of a sword. That's the good news. I'm not so sure it was always the best news, okay, because it got identified with but not only with the culture, but with the established order of the culture. That was both a colossal blessing. It spread Christianity throughout the world, but it's also a danger that it could corrupt it because it connected to power. See, whatever. That's the story of the life of the church, you see. Today is interesting. I was telling my students this recently, and I see that it is difficult. I think today you have a new era in at least the Christian West. We have global Christianity now, okay? You could see that clearly. We had I would say the new 5th century, fourth century, when Constantine made Christianity the religion of Rome. It got globalized a la Roman. Now it's being globalized out of the world. It's not Roman, it's global. So John the 23rd saw that, and that's why he called a council. It was to re-evangelize Europe. He knew it was neo-pagan. We had gone into deep pagan, neo-paganism. We had abandoned the faith 200 years ago. The full force of it hit. The 20th century is the barbaric outcome of the loss of something greater than human vanity. Just being blunt, okay? But at the same time, you see, as that's the death of one, and therefore needing re-evangelization, there is the opening now of the rest of the world to the Christianity on its own terms, on Asian and African terms, not on Roman terms in the sense of European terms. We're in maybe the greatest age of Christianity right now. But it's also going to be costly. It'll be the blood of the martyrs again, especially in Africa and Asia and other places. But it is also in our own country. For a kid to be a believer today, or a young person, the kids, the age group I teach, okay? It takes courage to be a believer today because you're in a secularized world. Even a Catholic university such as St. Louis University still has a significant number of non-believers in it, and who are active in their non-belief. In fact, they're the best kids in class, I have to tell you. In my philosophy of religion class, very often it's the non-believers who are the most challenging, and they're in some senses are the stimulants in the class. And I honor and respect them. I tease them too. You know, you can't take a joke. You know what I mean? I can give as well as take, but I admire it, and I respect it in so many ways of people that I love. They're very special to me. See, I don't want to go into any detail here, but you also see people who are now believers, or especially if they're converts to belief, and you want to see an exchange. It isn't an argument; it's an exchange of witness. I have a wonderful class. One of my 3 courses is a philosophy of religion class, and what I gotta say is my favorite. Not my favorite. One of my favorites is this young man who's just proud to be an atheist, and he's there He's like a rooster in the room. He likes making the case for his atheism. But there's a young woman in class, sits right next to him, and she's been through hell. And I'm just as public witness, so I'm not talking out of church, okay? Who has come to the faith, not to Christianity, but to belief in God after plummeting deep into atheism, rejecting her Christian foundation. She's only 20 years old, and she's already been through it all. When she believes, as she ascends into belief, it's powerful to witness it. She doesn't debate it with him. She witnesses to him in a way that silences him. He can't match her because she sees in her faith her redemption from horror. Her redemption from horror. See? She has hope in life. He can still play. He hasn't tasted the bitterness yet. She has at 19, 18, 9 years old, 18 or 19. She's tasted life's bitterness. And she knows it's either bitter and futile, hopeless and meaningless, or it is not, and there is hope. And so she reaches reaches out to it, out of her pain. And I said to her one time, I said, you're going to make a very big difference in people's lives. You've been to hell, and now you are sending out of it. You're a powerful witness. She's a witness to me. A powerful person. Yeah. Not pious. I don't know if she ever would go to church. It's not that. She reaches for the divine. See? That's something. It's something to behold. See? But I think for so many others, to be a believer is in many ways to be ostracized or even to be made fun of in our culture. It's not the blood. You're not going to die because you're a Christian, but you might be ostracized because you're a Christian. We are in a neo-pagan culture now, where your basic values are pagan. That is non-Christian, non-religious. Although I tell you where I look around and I see the Islamic community growing in our country, and I say they're going to be interesting because they are powerful witnesses to their faith. They may really be a counterforce, a major positive counterforce to the radical secularization that's going on in Europe and in America. I fear for America in that regard. We don't have to go the route that Europe went because we still have a profound Christian tradition underlying our civic life. But I'm afraid we will abandon it completely, and we're in the process of doing so. And it would be interesting, wouldn't it be, if it's a non-Christian but Abrahamically religious, Islam comes out of Abraham just as Judaism and Christianity does. If they become the counter voice to the secularization of our society. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Whatever the case, we're going to be, young people have to choose what they're going to believe. And it may cost them, because they believe. Just as the early Romans did, the Greeks that Luke is writing to and Matthew is writing to. The cost of discipleship can be very high. It could cost you your friends. It could cost you your respectfulness within a society. You can be looked at as a fool or silly or whatever. It's fashionable today to be a minimally agnostic. It's fashionable. Where it used to be fashionable in the 50s to be a Christian or a Jew. It ain't fashionable no more. I remember an atheistic friend of mine back in New Haven said that. It's fashionable to be Catholic. And he was right. It was during the Kennedy era. It fell like a house of cards. I don't want Christianity to be fashionable. I want it to be true and powerful in helping to shape a humanism that can save the world from itself. I really do see Christianity as the hope of humanity, not for heaven, this earth, because it is a profound humanism. It offers a profound humanism. And we desperately need that. We don't need a superficial humanism, let alone a political humanism that could be sold out in a heartbeat. We need a humanism that grounds the moral order, that grounds the political order. Now, I don't mean by saying everybody's got to be a Christian, but the fundamental humanism, the irrevocable, the right of human beings to their own dignity, not political, but profoundly moral. That requires a spirituality of human spirituality is profound. That I think Christianity offers because of the incarnation, the God-man, Christ. It's a profound humanism but it's costly. To embrace it may cost you. That's the price of discipleship, but it also may be the price of saving the world from itself.